Welcome back to Brain Fuel. So today we are going to discuss the topic Indian farmers against the Indian agriculture laws. So there will be five side headings. I'll give the introduction and explain about three farm bills. Indian farmers distress protest over three agriculture bills and government views on agriculture laws and last farmers agitation. Please watch the whole video. I'll cover all these topics. So the introduction will be you can just read this. I'll just explain. Okay, this is for your notes if you want to write. So who are Indian farmers? About 60% of India's population depends on farming for their livelihood. Farming is not only just growing plants, it can be mining or fishing. So there are different things. So out of this 85 are marginal farmers, meaning they own very small piece of land, usually less than 2 acres. What do farmers earn? In 2016, the average monthly income from farming was just 3,140 rupees. That's barely 100 rupees per day. 3,140 rupees per month. That barely is just 100 rupees per day. Less than what many people earn in cities. Imagine working full time and still not earning enough to cover basic needs like food, electricity, and school fees. And the debt crisis in rural India, around 52% of farming families are trapped in heavy debt. On average, each agriculture household owes about a whopping amount of 1,04,602 rupees. This means many farmers are borrowing money just to survive and often can't pay it back. So, why do they make loans? Like each time फसल उगाने में कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है ना, like seeds, what will say, nutrients for the soil, pesticides, etc, etc. So other than making out their daily life, they have to make an investment. So these problems led to farmer distress, mental stress, financial pressure, and hopelessness. And farmers were leaving villages to find work in cities. Sadly, many farmers take their own lives when they feel there is no way out. Most farmers in India work very hard but earn very little. Many are stuck in debt and feel helpless. This is why farmer movements and reforms are so important. So the three farm bills, this occurred in 2020. In 2020, the Indian government introduced three new laws to change how farming and food trade work. And Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Bill allowed farmers to sell their crops outside government markets called mandis. So the aim was to give farmers more freedom to spend, like to sell anywhere, even directly to companies. Farmers agreement on price assurance and farm service bill allowed farmers to sign contracts with buyers like companies before growing crops. The aim was to assure farmers of fixed price in advance. Essential Commodities Amendment Bill removed limits on storing food items like cereals, pulses, onions, etc. to encourage private investment and reduce wastage. And only 6% of farmers actually made a benefit from MSP, minimum support price, a government guaranteed price for crops. Farmers feared that private companies will exploit them if mandis and MSPs were weakened, minimum selling price was weakened. They worried about losing bargaining power and being forced to sell at low prices, because if the private companies get united, they'll fix a rate and they'll just buy for that rate only. So yeah, farmers will be in trouble at this moment also. So imagine I'll just give an example. Removing a school exams and saying students will be judged by companies. Some may benefit some, but many might be left out or treated unfairly. So, what happened next is there was a massive protest which began, especially from Punjab and Haryana states with strong mandi systems. Farmers camped at Delhi borders, braving cold weather for months. A citizen from Noida filed a petition saying the protests were blocking roads. And what did Supreme Court say was on October 22, 2021, the court said people have the right to protest, but public roads can be blocked forever. It affects others too. So the final outcome was after months of protest, the government repealed all three laws in December 2021 in simple words. The farm bills were meant to modernize farming, but many farmers felt that they were risky and unfair. Protests led to national debate, but finally the laws were taken back. The three farm bills was, just a moment, I'll explain. Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Bill, Farmers Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill, Essential Commodities Amendment Bill. So these three bills were taken back. This was the final judgment of the Supreme Court. So I usually used to read out what was on the screen, like what are you able to see, but I'm not getting many views, and most people are dropping out like at 30 seconds or 40 seconds. They're not watching the whole video. So that's the point I made it like this. If you want to make you want me to read out, just drop a comment. I would like to read out actually because it also makes video lengthy, and it will be easy for you to if I read out, you can just listen, like hold your phone or write a running notes like that. I thought it will be helpful. It like the people who on like other YouTube channels, the people who explain like this, it was helpful for me, so I started doing that. But I think people are not liking it and got few suggestions from my friends, so I done this. Lately I'm not being able to do many videos like 10s 20s like you I used to do before, because my night shift job is started. I'm getting bare minimum of time. It's like 15 hours up and down work. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. In 2020, the government introduced three farm laws that many farmers felt were unfair. Farmers from across India, especially Punjab, Haryana, started protesting near Delhi borders. Their demand was to cancel the farm laws and guarantee fair prices (MSP). So, as the winter session of Parliament was about to begin on November 29, a farmer group called Kisan Morcha made a big announcement. They said 500 farmers would peacefully drive tractors to Parliament every day. This was meant to keep pressure on government and show unity. So, just before the tractor march began, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a major announcement. Three farm laws would be repealed, that means cancelled. This was a huge victory for protesting farmers. The farmers' movement was mostly non-violent and disciplined. Their unity and persistence helped bring national attention to their issues. Farmers planned a peaceful tractor march to Parliament to demand the cancellation of farm laws. Just before it began, the Prime Minister announced that the laws would be withdrawn. It showed how peaceful protest can lead to real change. So it can actually be called movement because it satisfies all the features and characteristics. So what were farm laws? In September 2020, Indian government passed three new farm laws. These laws were meant to change how farmers buy and sell crops and deal with buyers. Actually, this was a change who never asked for them. They made their decision according to their own ideology. But farmers said these laws would hurt for small farmers, take away protections like MSP, and give too much power to big companies. And these laws were passed quickly with little discussion in parliament or with the public. Farmers, especially smallholders from Punjab and Haryana, felt ignored and betrayed. The government feared that they will lose mandis, government markets, and being forced to sell at low price. Thousands of farmers began peaceful protest at the Delhi borders. Over 30 farmer unions from across India joined together. Their demand was just to cancel the farm laws and protect MSP. The protest mostly came from Punjab, Haryana, and parts of Uttar Pradesh, but they got support from the opposition parties all over the India. The issue became national and global with people around the world watching. The government and farmer unions held several rounds of talks, but they couldn't agree. Farmers wanted a full repeal, not small, just small changes. In simple words, the government introduced new farm laws to improve agriculture, but many farmers felt the laws were unfair and risky. They protested peacefully for over a year, asking for laws to be cancelled. Despite talks, no agreement was reached, so they started this protest. So, uh, why were these laws introduced? Since 1991, India has been opening up its economy to global markets. So, this is called economic liberalization. The government wanted to make they wanted to modernize the agriculture and want to make more competitive in globalized world. So the government believed that the new farm laws would create more opportunities for farmers where farmers could sell their crops anywhere, not just government mandis. This would give them more buyers and possibly better prices. But by selling directly to companies, farmers could earn more and avoid the middlemen. So, uh, in coming about private investment in agriculture, these laws would encourage private companies to invest in things like cold storage, food processing, better transport system. This would improve infrastructure and reduce crop wastage and growing food markets. India's food market is expanding fast. The government believed that the private companies could help make farming more profitable. So think of farming like a small shop. The government wanted to turn that shop into a modern supermarket with better tools, more customer and higher profits. So the government introduced, I'll just explain it in simple words. The government introduced farm laws to modernize agriculture, attract private companies and give farmers more freedom to sell their crops. They believed that this would help farmers to earn more and grow with the economy. But it actually didn't go according to the logics. It totally went wrong when they got into practical things. So what was the MSP, minimum support price? MSP is the guaranteed price that government pays farmers for certain crops. It acts like safety net if market prices fall. Farmers still get fair amount. Like think of MSP like school giving students a minimum grade for effort even if the exam was tough. They won't fail completely. So what did the new farm laws say was thus 2020 farm laws allowed farmers to sell crops outside APMC mandis, government regulated markets. The government said this would give farmers more freedom and more buyers. Farmers feared that private buyers might offer lower prices than MSP if sales moved outside APMC mandis. The government might reduce MSP purchases. There was no written guarantee in laws that MSP would continue. So, Santakumar's committee said in 2015 a government committee found that only 6% of farmers actually benefit from MSP. This means most farmers don't get MSP and the new laws could make things worse. And what sparked the agitation? Farmers felt the MSP system was under threat. They demanded a legal guarantee for MSP in the new laws. This became central issue in 2020 to protest. So in simple words, farmers protested because they feared that the new laws would weaken the system that protects their income. They wanted a clear promise that MSP would continue, but laws didn't give that assurance. So this is the end of the video. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Continue supporting, continue watching, continue learning. Thanks for watching.